Back in March of 2020, when this COVID virus was still more of a rumor from overseas than a lived reality for us, before we had distancing and masking, there was a 2.5-hour choir rehearsal held in Skagit, Washington. Unknown to everyone there, one person had attended who, though they had very mild symptoms, were in fact carrying the COVID virus. As a result, 87% of the people who attended contracted the virus, and 2 people ended up actually dying. It was one of the very first superspreader events in this pandemic. But it was in studying this moment, along with several megachurches in South Korea, that led to the discovery that the virus can be transmitted by aerosol. In the research that's been done since then, it's been projected that had the choir rehearsed for only half an hour, the infection rate of the Skagit choir would have dropped from 87% down to 12%. Had they worn masks, even without distancing, that would have been even less. And if they had distanced, well, basically we know a whole lot more now. As our scientists and doctors continue to better understand the COVID-19 virus, and as more people are able to be vaccinated, our nation's health experts are beginning to have a more accurate advice on safe gathering practices. And so, in light of this new advice after extensive research and reading, and contingent, of course, on the evolving state guidelines, we are planning to add some sung music back to our in-person services. The advice falls into 3 categories: distance, duration, and mitigation. Distance. While before the recommendation was 12 feet, we now know that staying 6 feet from one another while singing is still effective. Duration. Singing for less than half an hour and then immediately vacating the space is the current best practice. And mitigation. Observing practices like wearing masks, using appropriate ventilation equipment, and the like. Now, we already have the proper ventilation system installed here in our sanctuary, and so our plan for singing follows these guidelines. We'll sing only at the end of the service following the sermon to maintain low exposure time. The team leading the singing will begin small with a single vocalist and maybe 1 or 2 acoustic instruments. And of course, masks and 6 feet of distance will continue to be required while gathering together. When you make your reservation, you'll be able to let us know if you'd prefer to sit towards the back of the sanctuary if that would make you feel more comfortable. We plan to begin this next step on Easter Sunday, which is April 4th. In a straw poll we took from the congregation attending in person this past week, the response was overwhelmingly affirming of this plan. It's a small step, but it's also kind of a big step, and we believe that this will continue to provide a safe place for everyone. If you have any questions about our plan or about the research, you can contact me and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Remember, our highest priority at this time remains that in our worship of God together, nobody will get sick because of their time here at Bethany. And God is on the move. So let's continue to follow him. See you soon.